So Billy, 1-0, a dramatic 1-0 win here at Bridlington Town today. A 93rd minute win. Just sum up your emotions right now for the game.
I thought it was a really, really difficult game in difficult conditions. With two of the informed teams in the league. I've said all along that this season that when Bridlington was probably one of the best footballing sides we've played, and then today they've shown another side of the character that they can also mix it as well. And I've said before, Gary's been around it a long time. He knows how to get the best out of people. He's won this league, so he knows what it's all about. And we always knew it was going to be really, really difficult, but to come and do what we did again on Wednesday night shows a real belief in the squad at the moment.
Yeah, I think we'll go to the goal straight away. It was the last kick of the game. Josh Green with the header and a brilliant ball in by Maiko.
Well, I think we regurgitated it in the corner. It come out to Maiko Jace, and we'd said all along about just making sure that we got on the blind side and the ball into the box was absolutely first class, and we pushed Josh out onto the left hand side to accommodate Carl up top, who done a little bit of running in there for us at the right time, and it were a brilliant finish by Josh, and obviously from then on there was just no recovery from Brid.
Looking at the game as a whole, there was virtually no or very few chances. It looked like no one was going to score. It looked 0-0 written all over it. A pretty drab game all in all. It was tough conditions, but both sides defended well.
Yeah, well, I mean it'd be interesting to know what the stats were on the wind and how fast the wind was blowing. I mean, I bet at times it was close on 50-60 mile an hour. Keepers were struggling to kick out of one end to the other end, and having defended against the wind in the first half, I think second half we came out and probably thought that we'd probably done enough now just to create enough chances, but fair play to Brid, they came out with a totally different game plan and really, really rattled us, and I think against the wind it was probably a little bit easier than it was with the wind, so the conditions were really, really bad, so it was a game of few chances, but
Credit to Bridlington to get the game on in the first place.
Well, it's the only game on in the league. That tells you everything you need to know about Bridlington Football Club in terms of the actual ground itself as well. It was a little bit sticky in places, but there were never any doubts about the game in any way, shape or form. So it's always a good place to come. It's always been a difficult place to come as well. It's a hard place, but we'll take that one. 6 points against one of the best teams in the league is massive for us.
Yeah, you mentioned that our game was the only game on in the NCEL today. That moves us to the top of the league, 58 points above Worksop with 2 games in hand. Just how big is that late goal in the big scheme of
huge.
things?
I mean, because the draw wouldn't have seen us over the line, would it? The draw would have just put us level with Bridlington, and we know we've got games in hand on Bridlington. We can accept that because it's interesting that their earlier form, if they're the form they're in now match their earlier form, they'd be right up in amongst it for definite and real title contenders. But I still think they've got half a chance because all upset teams they've been on a brilliant run, and to end that run and to end it on their own ground for us has been phenomenal. And then to gain ground on Worksop, who didn't play today, and then after 2 games in hand, psychologically that's massive for us.
What did you say to the lads at half time? Was it more of a case just keep going and doing the same?
Yeah, well, we talked about playing into the wind and about how it would hold up, and we'd have to try and keep the ball down and low and try and press high up the pitch, and we talked about areas we could expose from obviously the reports we've had on Bridlington and how they play, and then second half we talked about maybe getting in and around Jimmy Beale a little bit more and about the height of the ball, and we were kicking sort of kick high rather than long, and we just didn't do it for 20 minutes. We just didn't do it, and we really struggled to get some of our key players into the game in the second half, and I think a lot of the credit for that must go to Bridlington because they really got in amongst us, and there were times when they looked threatening going forward, but conditions were just so difficult. It was always going to be a set piece or a mistake from someone or a bit of clinical finishing, and that's what you got in the end.
Yeah, that must be one of the most pleasing things about today, is the fact that it hasn't been a great match. We didn't play our best, but we still came away with the 3 points in the end.
Yeah, well, that's what we're about at this moment in time. I've said that, that the most important thing at this moment in time is that the actual result, and not who does it, who plays, who's where. It's about making sure that we get the right result, and we've done that again today.
Yeah, a quick mention to the fans who were absolutely outstanding with it today.
Oh, class. I mean, it's a yearly ritual now, and it's Bridlington in fancy dress, and they all came. and from the first minute to the last minute we heard them, and then the celebrations at the end of the game speak volumes for the club. You know, the club's had a difficult time. We're over at the ground today and seeing the workmen in there and the amount of work that has just got to go on to get the football club back up and running. Pitch looked great, you know, in terms of where we are, a little bit wet, but you know, we were chatting to the Sparkers who were working on the floodlights, and it just makes it all worthwhile. And for the people that have travelled the hour and a half to get over here, and then to go to all that effort to dress up like they did, I mean, that's...
What did you make of the boombox, which was booming out Tadcaster Albion and all the rest of the songs? It must have been
I mean, that was brilliant.
I've never seen anything like it personally.
Yeah. No, it was absolutely brilliant. It carnival atmosphere, and you know, that's what we've got, haven't we? And the good, honest, hard-working people, and they spend good, hard-earned money to come up here and to travel about and watch the team. And I think it's, you know, it's really, really important as a team that we acknowledge that, and whether we win, lose, or draw, and they're right behind us, and you know, we need them because we're on a bit of a roll at the moment.
Moving on from today now, next Saturday we're going back to the Eye Stadium against Liversidge. How good will it be to get back at home for the first time in a long time?
Oh, brilliant for me. I started my career at Liversidge in non-league. First job I took with Sean Regan, way back when I come out of the academies and that. So it's it'd be brilliant to be able to play them. I know that the luck's down at the moment and they're struggling a little bit, but it doesn't mean that it's going to be an easy game. But what it does mean is we can get back home, we can get, you know, playing again on our pitch. Fingers crossed we'll have a great week this week in terms of weather, although we can't always guarantee that, can we? And then we'll look forward to the game, so we'll train this week as we normally do, and we'll be up for the game come next Saturday.
Yeah, hopefully the town of Tadcaster gets behind their local football club. Well done today, Billy. We'll see you next Saturday.
Thanks.
Sir Josh, you were the hero today, scoring in the 94th minute. Just sum up how you and all the lads are feeling right now.
Just over the moon, really. Yeah, all the lads are buzzing after the game. Obviously, a really important goal to go above Brid. I know we had a few games in hand on them, but it's just important to keep that momentum going, really. So yeah, as you can imagine, all the boys are buzzing, buzzing in the changing room. And it was nice to get a goal with my head, because I don't often score headers, so yeah, it was an added bonus.
Yeah, well, if you talk through the goal, last minute, brilliant cross by Jace, wasn't it? And then you threw in there a diving header, didn't you?
Yeah, Trigger, great ball in. I just seen him open up, and I just thought, I'm just going to gamble off the last man here, and if it falls to me, it falls to me. And it's been one of those days today where there weren't many clear-cut chances at all.
No.
And I was just a bit of luck, really, or maybe a bit of instinct. It just dropped to me, and I thankfully managed to put it away.
And then your shirt went flying.
Yeah, shirt went off. Yeah, I had a bit of banter with my brother and just said, you'd have thought I scored in front of 90,000 at Wembley the way I reacted. But he, to be fair to me, he said you get the same buzz, that same feeling, whatever level of football you're playing at. And it was an important goal, so I was just chuffed to get the win for the boys, really.
Yeah. Just touch on the fans, just how good were they today?
Unbelievable. I was just saying to the guy outside there for BBC Radio York, they were brilliant, and they always are. And they're just really nice people, you know, behind the scenes as well. It's good to have a bit of banter with them coming off the pitch, but they're really loud and playing the songs all time loud during the pitch, and just gives.
How loud did it sound on the pitch?
Really loud, yeah. It felt like there was a lot more people here than there was, so it was a great atmosphere, especially when you're in this bottom corner as well, where everybody was stood. It was fantastic, really.
It must spur you on the pitch, wasn't it?
Definitely, yeah. Especially in the last 10 minutes when your legs are feeling heavy, and you saw how heavy the pitch was today. It was like a bog by the end, and with that wind as well, and just hearing them cheering you on, you know, it just gives you that extra little bit of a bit of push and that extra bit of momentum. And I think that's maybe what spurred me on to have that last break into the box and try and get the winner.
Anyway, well done today, absolutely quality.
Cheers.